Hey guys, the Allfather here, bringing you the next round of our game plan for our upcoming war here. We just got matched a few minutes ago against this level 6 clan here, and says that they war twice a week, 80 wars one, and they get it. So my guess is that these guys are probably pretty well organized, and they've obviously won their fair share of wars if they are truly twice a week. They've got us beat by a good couple dozen war wins, and so will probably be a good test for us. And thank you, Mountain Dew Maniac. Looks like your Town Hall 9.5 brought in two Town Hall 10s. We'll take a look at those towards the end. But they do have us matched as far as Town Hall 9-10 level down to number 8. And then even match all the way down to the bottom, except for our number 15 is a Town Hall 7 going to Town Hall 8. And so that one is going to be pretty evenly matched there as well. But we'll go ahead and just start taking a look at some of these bases and see what we might try to bring against them. Starting with the bottom base here. Obviously, not going to spend too much time on this one. Very low level ADs. And all we're going to have to do is pick one, probably that level 3 one, lightning it. 105 Dragoon 3. I'll go ahead and go into the air sweeper. Don't worry about the clan castle or the lure, because your air defenses are going to be down by the time you get to it. That's going to be Pastor Ryan, I'm sure, going at that one. And that'll be an easy Dragoon attack there, so I don't anticipate any issues there. We'll go ahead and move on up the ladder. This Town Hall 8 base, obviously not very difficult as well. With the low-level ADs, we're definitely going to want to bring a Dragoon attack. I'm sorry, maybe not a Dragoon attack, but a Dragon attack of some sort. And right off the bat, a couple things that I would notice is obviously this exposed AD on the outside. That's going to be an easy snipe with, I would say, probably max Clan Castle Hogs. And the only thing you might have to worry about there is making sure that they didn't park a giant bomb right outside here somewhere. So somehow you're going to have to make sure that you don't launch a bunch of max hogs right over a giant bomb, whether you bring your BK in there or some other method. But anyway, just be careful of that. But that's an easy snipe there. Even max loons will snipe that air defense, so that's not going to be a big deal. Other thing we're going to look at the Dragon attack is the high hit point buildings, storages, and just take a look at the map of what that looks like. Right there and right there. And so obviously we see the air sweeper here. Our goal is going to be to come from behind it. So with that said, the most logical thing to do would be to light that air defense, snipe this air defense, and then just bring your Dragon attack in from behind the air sweeper. And that should be an easy 3-star there. So not going to spend too much more time on that. Moving on, we move up here into, I believe, a tier 4 base because it is AD 655. That might be tier 5 still, I'm not sure. Don't even know my own tiers, but that's okay. Clustered air defenses. We've got a lot of air power, or the wizard towers in the middle, which isn't going to really do a whole lot of damage to anything. So let's look at Dragon attack real quick. Dragon's high hit point buildings, does it make sense? There. And our air sweeper identified. And so yes, it does make sense, because if you look at the high hit point buildings, they're all basically on this sort of a line. So kind of 50-50. We've got only one air defense, or air defense that really is an issue there, and that is going to be this one. So we can easily lightning that one. By lightning that one also, we are going to start taking out some of the hit points of that one that's right next to it. And so we're going to get double whammy benefit there for the lightning spell. And so definitely looking like a good Dragon attack still. So if we do that, then we're looking for the air sweeper. When I try to come in from behind, we can do that, no problem. And so it's still lining up good for a Dragon attack. Our attack angle, we're going to draw a line from the clan castle, which is going to draw our troops in through the 2 remaining air defenses, and that's going to be our attack line. From our attack line, we go ahead and spread out usually about 2 buildings, maybe 3, just depends on how you want to do it, to create our funnel lane. So that is our funnel lane. That is where our dragons need to be in. So cutters need to start coming in here, and then they'll work their way towards the inside, and then up towards the center of the base and take out those air defenses. Clan Castle max loons behind them. The important thing is that those cutters take out these defenses here. And that's why we want to make sure we spread that funnel wide enough to get those defenses so that the loons don't get distracted and try to go here. We want them to go up the middle. And so just make sure that your funnel takes that into account. And lastly, the only downside to maybe a dragon attack would be those builder huts in the corners. And so obviously we would want to start our attack up here and here and here, and use your BK to clean up out here on the backside, or builder huts, or wherever your dragons stray away from. And so that's one option there. Obviously, if you look at it from another angle, it definitely lines up also for a Goho attack. We've got Exposed King. We've got no double giant bomb possibilities. There are no 2x4 spaces, so we know that those bombs are on the outside. They could potentially be here. They could potentially be here. Could potentially be here. So this is a great attack angle for a Goho, because you might be able to trip any of those potential giant bomb locations, as well as take out the enemy BK. I would still lean Dragoon on this one. I think it's a safer method, but if for some reason we struggle with that, this might be an option too. Most likely our giant bombs or Teslas are going to be sandwiched up here. Given that it's kind of set up anti-air, I would say that it's probably Teslas inside, but you just never know. Some people do some crazy things, and I would say that bombs are probably sprinkled in out here to prevent hog approaches when you see these kind of gaps on the outside. And so I guess there could be something there, but that's not really on the approach to a defense. So anyway, expect Teslas in the middle, possible giant bombs just because they are sandwiched in between the defenses. But most likely with somebody this low level, they're working on anti-air. So definitely would start with the Dragoon though. I think that's always the safest bet unless we have issues with that. Moving up to this one, we got an interesting 8665, but it's really spread out. It's an odd concoction of locations for them. And so again, always going to try to look towards a dragon attack first. We can do that. We could lightning this AD here, dragon snipe style, obviously. We can pull in CC loons or hogs here. If you have the light quake option, it's going to be very easy because you're going to be able to light quake the center AD, and then you'll still be able to snipe one AD, and then you'll still have a rage spell in the bag for handling the remaining AD and the Clan Castle troops. So if you can light quake it, definitely a good option there. So if we decide that is not a good option, let's look at some other things. We do have an exposed hero. We do have nice, tight patterning on the defenses, so this is definitely a hoggable base as well. Your giant bomb possibilities on a hog base here, most likely right here, because of that wall pegging. See how they left 2 spaces open there? They're trying to force you to drive through in there. My guess would be Tesla right there with flip trap leading into it. Now, usually you wouldn't leave that space open and flip trap into a giant bomb. That just doesn't make a lot of sense, and so I would suspect Tesla there. I would suspect, because of the pegging over here, possibly another giant bomb there. And then very possibly could be Tesla here. And, there's going to be something probably in here and probably something over in here somewhere as far as the remaining giant bomb or Teslas. And so there could be, I guess, a little bit of a danger on the approach here. So you do have to be careful there. That might be bait. So you might want to bring a troop or two if you do try to go that hog route or something, to just double check and make sure that they're not baiting you into trying to snipe that thing. If you loon sniped it, it probably isn't going to make a difference because unless a Tesla pops over there. So those are the options there. I think you can split it up and kind of do a Dragoon style attack by splitting that middle AD out. You can also snipe the outside AD. You could also do a straight hog attack. You could also do, I wouldn't probably mess with a go-ho attack as much here just because of the fact that you don't have to mess with the king till the end because of where he's located. And you don't have any double giant bomb possibilities, and you pretty easily can sniff out one or two of the giant bomb locations. You have a really clustered bunch of defenses, so you can pre-heal almost the entire base. If you look at the heal pattern structure of what it would be, is you would have to heal there to pre-heal that spot, just in case. I think it's a Tesla, but it could be a giant bomb. Your next heal pattern would have to protect this area here. And then your remaining one would have to be probably in here where the bulk of the defenses is, and another potential giant bomb on the outside there. So definitely a lot of options there. Use your best judgment, what you're most comfortable with, but I think you can take that base with a lot of different variety of things there. Moving on up to number 11, and we're starting to see the 8666 here, max ADs and max archer towers, max cannons, max mortars. So it looks like we're at tier 3 here already. And looking at that AD pattern, it's triangulated, so I'm already not going to want to do dragons on it. Centralized air sweeper, so now we're already moving on to other options. Go wipe, go ho, straight hogs. Now, if we look at all the potential giant bomb possibilities, this tells you right away that this is not going to be a straight hog attack. You got double giant bomb potential there. Let's see. Can't do a double here. That could be a single. Wouldn't really make sense there. Could be a single there. Wouldn't make sense there. Wouldn't really make sense here. And the reason I say it wouldn't make sense is if you look at hog pathing, is they're going to go from defense to defense. They're not going to trip those, or if they do, they're going to trip them one at a time. So we really don't care about those areas. So our main area of concern as far as double giant bombs is definitely here. I would bet money if I were betting man that there's double giant bombs there. And it is going to leave you with a single somewhere else. And then you've got Teslas in the remaining spots. So we do have a BK here. And so this one really probably sets up well for some sort of a Hogo wipe. Because you're definitely going to need the hit points. You're definitely going to need to push far into the base to get this. So I kind of went and drew a really crude hog pathing web diagram there for you, just to kind of see what the potential options for hogs would be there, though. The best pathing for hogs, honestly, is from this way and from this way. Unfortunately, from the top here, you've got to deal with the BK, and he can be some trouble. And the reason I just say best pathing is because on the way, there's just not flip traps and bomb locations and those kind of things launching from that angle. As you can see, the pathing is they definitely will try to cross here at some point if you don't disable that or disarm it. So that's why I think you're definitely looking at some sort of go wipe style attack, and you're going to have to snipe probably with hogs as you go, and try to just take some of the buildings out while they're focused on your main kill squad. And so that's probably going to be my suggestion, is kind of a Hogo wipe style attack. Your other options, I guess, is you could try to light quake something like this. Always an option, even though there's max ADs, because what we can do is take a look at air sweeper positioning. We can try to come in from behind. We can light quake this guy, and then clan castle's here, so it's gonna be kind of hard to draw the line, but our attack angle is going to be something like this, and so our funnel is going to have to be kind of a wide angle type like there, because we don't want to miss this AD. That would be my biggest concern. The clan castle is going to draw you towards this AD. And with the rage spell, you might be able to get there and be just fine. And if you look at as far as backside trouble, you're dealing with 1, 2, 3 Archer Towers, and possibly a Tesla. And so could be a good option there. If you can get that 105 Dragoon Light Quake in there under a rage spell, you might have some luck doing that too. So consider those options against this base. Moving on to number 10, first thing we notice, 8666. Again, you can always consider that 105 Dragoon LQR. But against this kind of base, it really looks like it tends and lends itself well to hogs. We've got extremely compact bunches of defenses here. And we've got defenses here with the BK. So you have two options that are going to be probably the most viable. And that is going to be straight hogs. And Chaz would probably be the guy to get with on this. Curtis has been able to take these kind of bases out, usually launching 3 different packs of hogs and coming in there. And so if we did that and approached it that way, they would deal with that. They might try to cross over here with these little gaps here. My guess is there's probably flip traps right in there. You're going to lose hogs to flip traps no matter what you do. What we're really concerned about is giant bombs and double giant bombs. So the question is, are we really worried about giant bombs or double giant bombs? The only place doubles could be is here, 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 and here. There's absolutely no reason hogs will ever path there. So you really don't have to worry about it. And if you're splitting them into 2 to 3 packs of hogs, you're not going to worry about that because they're not all going to be in one spot. Most likely you have the flip traps in here because it's kind of an anti-ground, anti-giant. When they funnel up the middle, they flip those traps up. So that's another place for them to hide their anti-air traps as well. And then we've got this one opening in the middle. Very possibly could be a giant bomb. Probably definitely have to consider when you're doing a heal pattern, if you do hogs, covering that. Maybe it's something like that when you're doing that one. And, maybe your other ones are kind of more like here so that they're getting healed up as they approach the BK. And so definitely consider a hog attack here. Other option, of course, would be looking at like a go-weho attack. We do have an exposed BK here, and we do have one pocket here that we could drive a go-weho into. The reason I would maybe stray away from that a little bit is because we're really not going to get a lot of distract here. When you look at that cannon will eventually fire, but this one probably isn't really going to. That's not, that might start firing, but you're not going to be able to fire back at it. So there's really not going to be much targeting you outside of, this one pocket. So if it's really worth the expenditure of a golem and wizards and all that jazz just to get this one pocket out, and it very well might be, but I think probably a straight hog attack is going to be a little more powerful against this one. Use your best judgment. If you've got any other ideas, go ahead and go with it. But that's what I would take a look at there. I don't see any reason that hogs isn't going to wreck that base. So moving up to the number 9 base, another Town Hall 8, maxed out, and other than walls, obviously. And so we're pretty much going to be looking at, what the best strategy is going to be a go wipe, a hog, or a combination of the two is usually what we try to look at here. First thing I kind of notice when I look at this is let's count compartments with defenses in them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and obviously Tesla's somewhere in there, so 8 to 9. So a straight go wipe could fizzle out just because of the number of compartments. I'd like to keep that at maximum 8. Below 7 would be great. This one very possibly could. The walls are too spread out. You're not going to get the benefit of a quake spell because you're only going to take out and open up compartments. You're still going to leave 4 compartments no matter how you quake it. So it's not going to be a quake spell. And so we're going to have to look at the feasibility of a hybrid attack here. knowing that we're going to want to try to use hogs because of the spread nature of the anti-air. It's going to be hard to snipe with loons or anything like that. First thing we have to identify is our giant bomb potentials. And again, we see some wall pegging here that's suspicious. Very possible Tesla there. Could just be a decoy flip trap here. Another wall peg here is suspicious as well. Very possibly could be, I mean, it's not a double giant bomb, so it's probably not a single giant bomb. That's kind of my theory behind it. So another possible option for Tesla there. These could just be decoys. We do have a spot here and here. We definitely have double giant bomb potential in here. And we have single giant bomber Tesla possibilities here and here. As far as the top of the base, this whole area here is a Tesla giant bomb free zone. So we really don't have to worry about that. So what that lends me to is probably going to be a Hogo wipe. And this is how I kind of see this going down, is we know we've got potential for something down here. We know we have a hero up here that we have to deal with, but we also know that our hogs are pretty safe up in that area of the base as well. And if we do look at hog pathing and draw that out quick, it does tend to look something like this. And so what we see is there is some pretty nice hog pathing from defense to defense without encountering too many giant bomb potentials or flip trap options, because they are going to run in a circle. And so with a Hogo wipe, that's exactly what you want. You want them to run in a circle. And so what you're going to do is bring your go wipe portion in from an ideal part of the base, and then launch your hogs from a 90-degree angle roughly from that attack. And so obviously we know the BK is going to be trouble for the hogs, and we know the core is going to be trouble for the hogs. We're not really sure about this location here, and this area here, and this area here, but if that's a giant bomb, it's irrelevant. If it's a Tesla, there's no giant bomb, so that's not going to be a problem. Could be flip traps on the way to it, but again, you're going to have to lose some to flip traps. And so, that being said, I would say, I mean, again, these are pretty quick scouts, don't have a lot of time, but I would say your best option is to bring your main kill squad in somewhere in this area. Okay, and go ahead and tackle the BK, tackle some of these defenses here, and then, maybe, especially since there's these unknowns here, maybe focus more from this side and this angle. It's kind of an odd approach, but I think it might work by bringing it in, kind of from the corner, but not really from the corner, just because that is kind of a hard approach. You're probably going to have to drop a golem in this line and a golem in this line. And what you're going to have to do is bring enough wall breakers to break here, here, and into this compartment so that you can tackle all those things, and maybe even a couple more in here. So you definitely want to bring probably a good 8 wall breakers at least to make sure that you get in and bust out that whole corner. From there, once everything's distracted, if you bring your hogs in even from this angle, once the BK is distracted, depending on how many defenses are left, they're going to take out this, hopefully come around here. They'll maybe counter some flip traps there or whatever, but they'll just kind of work their way around here, avoiding all of the real danger of the core, and take out those defenses while your main go wipe portion starts wiping out the base. And so you pretty much just have to look at it as, drawing about 50% of the base. Where's the 50% line? That's about here. That's really what your go wipe has to take care of. You're only going to be able to bring probably a maximum of 16 hogs to take care of the rest. And the reason I say that, quick math, quick tutorial lesson, is minimum 32 hogs on a straight hog attack takes 100% of a base out. It's usually kind of the rule of thumb. So if I need to take 50% of a base out, 32 divided by 2, 16 hogs. And so you can kind of use that formula as a rough idea as far as what to do, how many hogs to bring, and how much of a kill squad you need to bring, based on how far the kill squad needs to get in. If the kill squad only needs to get in and take out this much of the base, then obviously you're going to need more hogs to take out the rest of it. If you need your kill squad to get further into the base and they need to come and get more like 60 or 70%, then you have to adjust accordingly and go heavier on the kill squad, P.E.K.K.A.s, golems, wizards, whatever. And then you're only going to have, maybe 10 hogs for the backside. And so that's some quick hog math for you for these hybrid attacks if you're wondering kind of how to decide how much to bring. It really depends on how far of a push that main squad needs to get. So again, recommendation there, some sort of hybrid Hogo wipe attack looks like might be a good option. Looking at the number 8 base here, we've got Town Hall 9. Couple nice things that we like to see here. Those air defense patterns are kind of goofy. That is kind of an anti-Laloon distract. And other things is we've got an exposed queen there. She's only level 3, so that'll be pretty easy to deal with. Exposed king, which we're not too worried about. But this is going to be... I don't see any double giant bomb potential, so that's going to be interesting. So it's probably going to be kind of a hog heavy attack, whether it's a Hogo wipe, a Hogo wee wee. I definitely think you can get some benefit out of the hogs in this attack because of the tight clusters of defenses. And so what I would probably take a look at is some sort of hybrid attack like that. And what we're really worried about if we're going to bring hogs is giant bombs. So that would be a good spot to put one just because it's with between the defenses. That's a good spot to put one because it's between the defenses. This is also good. This is also good. To a lesser extent, that one. And wouldn't be really smart to do that one. Doesn't mean they didn't do it. That's not going to be hog pathing there, so we're going to get rid of that one. That's not going to be an issue. So if you kind of take a look at that, you kind of see the angle that you would want to take is kind of somewhere from this area to try to push up into the core and eliminate some of those giant bomb locations or diffuse some of the pathing. It's going to be kind of hard to anchor the golems appropriately and take care of the queen, but I would definitely probably look at anchoring one of the golems right in here. It's going to lock onto that whiz tower, and it's also going to attract the attention of the queen. You're going to want to have your enemy or your Barb King right behind that to go ahead and lock onto her and take her out. And then you might want to lock in on the other whiz tower just to make it simple. Whiz tower, whiz tower. That's going to get the attention of all of this stuff. Maybe not the cannon, but it's going to get the attention of all of this. And then this golem over here is going to get the attention of everything else. So you're going to have 50% of the base locked onto golems by doing that. You can go ahead and create your standard funneling however you want to do it to get your attack line. And then if you drive into the base from this angle, whether you use jump spells, whether you use heavy wall breakers, and kind of diffuse some of those locations and diffuse that enemy queen, I would probably suggest you could use the hogs from a 90-degree angle, or you could run them right in behind your kill squad to try to work in concert with it. Now again, if you do bring hogs here, remember you have to get the clan castle taken care of. That's going to be of the utmost importance. That lure radius is very easy. It's going to be trippable with hogs, loons, whatever. So you're going to be able to get that lure. You're going to be able to drag them out to a safe place. The only thing is you're going to have to drag them somewhere. You may have to kill them at a different line from where you attack from, which isn't always ideal. But your call on that, but it definitely sets up good for some sort of supplemental hog attack. Obviously, we want to take a 2+ attack strategy approach, which means guarantee yourself the 2-star, but bring a plan for 3. And that's what we need to look for all of our Town Hall 9 attacks is don't sell yourself short on the 2-star, but have a good plan for if things go well and I get to a certain point, what can I use to finish off the attack? Looking at number 7 base, these guys obviously have some ideas in mind when they're designing their bases. And tell you what I mean by that is look at these air defense placements. They're all over the place, and that is on purpose. That is anti-lava loon. So these guys are really worried about getting lalooned. But to a lesser extent, they're not worried about hogs because you see they're really not worried about putting double giant bombs anywhere. And so for whatever reason, their experience is telling them that they need to worry about the laloon attacks and not the, which is kind of odd because I think that's probably one of the least attacks that you see in Clan Wars as people move from Town Hall 8 to Town Hall 9. They get pretty stuck on go wipe. So it's usually what you see, but you see a lot of compartments here. And so back end strategy for sure is going to be hogs because what you see here is all these clustered defenses here on this side. Pretty open over here, so you're going to see a lot of traps, Teslas, giant bombs, and those kind of things there. And so they're kind of baiting you to come in from that side. The clan castles, or the town hall is closer to that side. The queen is situated behind the town hall, and the clan castle is situated behind the town hall. So this kind of anti-3-star approach. They really want you to come in from that top side and have to deal with all that stuff right off the bat and weaken your troops so that when you get to the backside, you're dealing with all those walls and those defenses. So that's what this is designed for. So how can we combat that and counteract what their design and their plan is for it? And what I would say is consider, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the way you want to do, but consider maybe quaking this one. And the reason I say that is because you've got all these walls here clustered together. You know they want you to come from the other side the way it's set up, and they want an air attack to come from the back side the way they've got their air sweepers pointed. And so they've got this baited and set up pretty well. But if you busted through and quaked some of these walls, the quake radius is going to be about like this. And all it has to do is touch a wall, and that's probably off a little bit. But what you can probably easily do is get it to where you can bust out, like this whole portion of walls here. And what that may give you the opportunity to do then is to come in here and approach the town hall from a location that they maybe didn't want you to come in from. And so give that an idea, or give that a consideration there. This is probably going to be something where you want to look at a go wee wee style attack, and then maybe back up with however many hogs you can spare. Go wee wee, I think, is probably, as far as a straight Town Hall 9 attack, is probably one of the more consistent, one of the more powerful opportunities to 3-star base. The other thing that you could consider here is just jumping straight into the core. And you can do that from anywhere on the front side here. But you could jump into the core right about there if you needed to. They don't give you many golem anchors there. That's the only thing. So your golems are going to clump. You're not going to get that nice wide spread. The other option could be anchor golems here and here, and then try to jump them to the middle like that. But again, that's kind of how they want you to come at it. And so this is going to be a tricky base. Again, I would just definitely go for a certain 2-star attack, and then just have a plan with some supplemental hogs or something to try to get the 3-star attack. I wouldn't go too fancy on this. These are kind of some unique setups, and I think we're probably going to have a little bit of trouble with it. You are definitely going to want to try to get a lure, in my opinion, because it's going to be a little bit of an expenditure to get it. But once you do, like, hogs in here, they'll go straight in there. They should trip that clan castle and lure. They've given you just a huge space to drag them up to and deal with the clan castle. There's no anchors up there, but you can barb walk whatever troops up there, or you can pull them out to this side. So to a lesser extent, you could deal with them out in that corner as well. But again, just be wary on this one, because it's the way it's designed. It definitely looks like they want you to come from this northeast side and from this area. And that could be troublesome. There's probably a good reason why they do that. It could just be an anti-3-star strategy. So do your best on that. Come up with a good plan. And again, just do a 2+. Work on guaranteeing that 2-star. And there is the other thing with that, and now that I think about it, why they have it set up this way, is look at all the buildings on the backside. There is a ton of hit points on the backside. What they want you to do on this is come in from here, and they're basically giving you the town hall. They're saying, I will let you get all of this. And my guess is, and I would bank on this pretty much, is that you've got less than 50% of the base on that side of the town hall, including the town hall. So they basically want it to look juicy to get you in there, think you're going to do good, and get the town hall. And then where they're going to knock you and where they're going to get you is by not getting the 50%. So whatever you do, have a 50% plan. Look at this back side, find out what buildings are free. So you've got these storages on the backside are all free with some minions or something like that. If you drop 3 minions on the backside, they're going to take out some high hit point buildings there. Over here, you should have, maybe a couple free barracks for a couple archers there. And so make sure you have a plan to get all the free buildings there are, because I have a feeling that that's kind of the strategy on this one, is to try to get you a very low percentage, 48, 49% 1-star attack by getting the town hall. So just be wary of that when you're planning this attack out. Okay, as we get into the top Town Hall 9s, I'm not going to do as much of the trying to figure out an army comp for you so much as just point out some key things on the bases. It just gets to be too long and drawn out, and people just do what they want to do sometimes anyway. So rather than wasting a lot of breath on that, I'm just going to show you a few things here. Exposed heroes, you definitely want to take care of that. Probably go at that queen. We've got some pegging down here. What I would venture to guess here is you've got quad Teslas in the core. It's very common when you see that setup, and double giant bombs here. And so whatever you do, as far as the lure, a great option for diffusing double giant bombs here is going to be, they give you a cannon, they give you a mortar there. Just take your loons right in there. That should go ahead and drop both of those. Go ahead and take a look at the radius there. They're not going to start firing until it gets to the mortar. And so as long as you bring, I would say, 3 balloons, you're going to be able to get the cannon, the mortar, and get inside that radius. And what that's also going to allow you to do is defuse the potential double giant bomb locations down here. In that, once that mortar's gone, any hog pathing, if you have hogs in your army, are going to go across and not across the bombs. So a couple things there. On the remainder of it, we have expos pointed up. We have clusters of defenses here, which leaves good hog pathing there. There's really not a lot on the top side of the base. They do give you some nice, what appears to be juicy golem anchors up here. So if you did your kill squad up at the top and then drop your golems in here, these bases are designed, they kind of want you to attack from that direction. Because you see a majority of the defenses are down here. So this is really set up for a northern attack. It wants you to come from the north and then hit these pockets of defenses. So I would try to break that and not do that. One option there might be to go ahead and look at quaking and breaking that funneling right in here. And then coming in at somewhat of an angle like this. And what that does is it's going to allow you to take out the queen. It's going to allow you to break and go at these quad Teslas 2 at a time instead of coming from the top and getting nailed by all 4, as well as getting nailed from all of this stuff, all coming in at you like this. By coming in at the side on this kind of base, you're breaking the base design, and you're basically splitting it and only tackling half of the defenses at a time. So you're kind of diffusing what the base's intent is for that. So just a couple quick pointers on that. You definitely have some builder huts and some free buildings outside, so use that as part of your 50% strategy. And then, again, 2+, figure out what you need to get into the town hall, get it taken out, and then whatever supplemental troops you can spare to try to pick up a 3-star if things go well. Number 5 base, again, anti-Laloon, pro-hog. I don't know if that means these guys are going to be using Laloon or they're just defending against it. But again, with that kind of wonky air defense placement, it's not real symmetrical. That's anti-Laloon strategy. But we do see is not a lot of double giant bombs. And so again, they're not really worried about hogs. And so I think as far as our supplemental troops, hogs are definitely going to play a big part against Town Hall 9s, at least as far as the potential 3-star strategy, whether it's Hogo Wee Wee or whatever it might be. But here we have the queen is buried a little bit further in the base. Right here, she's going to be protected by a Tesla, obviously there. Tesla there. We've got some pegged areas here, so most likely giant bomb. My guess would be Tesla, and then your other giant bombs here. Wouldn't think here just because it's on the outside. Wouldn't expect that to be a Tesla either, but it could be. It could just be a decoy. Could be 4 single bombs. Could be flip traps. But your Teslas, I think, are going to be kind of concentrated on that bottom part of the base there. And again, how you approach this base is really about how do I get the 2-star and then what can I do to 3 it if things go well. These bases that are kind of set up in a long fashion, that are longer and not as squarish, they basically can trap you into launching go wipe and those kind of attacks from a bad angle. When you're launching go wipe attack, always try to come at a broad side of the base, and that's here and here, or here and here, here and here. Try to hit a broad side of the base. The reason being is you want to be able to come right up to the wall and attract the attention of as many defenses as possible. With all these defenses on the outside here, golems here is going to attract all those defenses. On this side of the base, golems here is going to attract a majority of the defenses. So the key is going to be that, breaking them in, getting a whiz funnel. Your main issue is going to be driving them to the core, obviously, and that can be accomplished with a nicely placed jump spell. So if you come from one direction, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you get to the core and you don't circle, and so you're going to want to make sure you're putting a jump spell, somewhere in this area. If you come from the other side, somewhere in this area, and make sure you get to the core. Once you get in there, you're going to attract the attention of the heroes. Your kill squad should be able to take them out. Make sure you have them raged and healed at the core. And then, if you're pretty comfortable with the 2-star plan there, then you can figure out how to back end it, maybe with some hogs. If you look at hog pathing through here, you might be able to finish it off with some well-placed hogs there. So some considerations on that base. But again, 2+, make sure you can get to that core, whichever way you come at it. The only way I probably wouldn't try to come at it would be from down here. Just probably the least desirable, just because you're going to have a hard time, dragging and killing the clan castle to there. You have a lot better nice open areas in here to do a CC kill. Not there. A CC kill out in here, and so it can be a little more difficult at the bottom. I know you like to go at the queen ideally, so maybe this is the ideal route up here, but definitely try not to kill the clan castle where there's a bunch of other buildings, because your troops could lock onto those buildings instead of the enemy CC, and that can cause trouble. So this base here, we're getting up into the higher levels, 20+ combined heroes, max expos, max defenses for the most part. So we're getting up into our tier 1s already, and haven't even looked at the Town Hall 10s yet, unfortunately. I'm not really looking forward to that, but again, a couple things you notice down here. You got some free buildings here. You got, a handful of minions can take out basically some percentage points down there. So there's part of your 50% plan. As far as the clan castle, you have a centralized clan castle. It's anti 3-star in nature. However, pretty easy to trip that clan castle. All you're going to need to do is bring a handful of hogs or loons, probably 3 to 4, and bring them in from somewhere, and they're going to be able to get inside that clan castle radius and trip them. Drag them to wherever you're going to be getting your attack from, and take them from there. Again, assuming golems are going to be part of our attack, we've got some good options and ability to get a good anchor and a good spread over in here. And again, most likely, not guaranteed, looking at quad Teslas in the core. And it's possible you could have Tesla Giant Bomb combo there, and then other Tesla or Giant Bomb out here. But in this, it's not really a Southern teaser setup, I guess. But most likely you're going to see that quad Tesla. So that same idea, if we go with that approach, is either way there's going to be 4 Teslas near the core most likely. Is instead of trying to come at it and dive straight down or dive straight up at them and engage all 4 Teslas, what we want to do is make sure that, we try to break that cycle and come in from one of those other angles like we showed, and then only hopefully deal with roughly 2 at a time and only deal with 1 expo at a time. And so that is our ideal situation there. You've got heroes that do not protect the clan castle. So again, this is an anti 3-star clan. You can tell by the way they have them set up. And so given that, they have that mentality, they're probably going to be bringing some heavy attacks, or at least are pretty confident in their ability to 2-star. So we have to have 2-star attacks, and then whatever we can to get to 3. The one thing that this base has a weakness against is back-end air. Could be traps at the bottom, and they've thought of that because you can see that they've got their sweeper pointed that way. But if your troops were able to get through this point, these archer towers, and it would have to get this last air defense out, and obviously the heroes. So it's gonna take a pretty hefty attack, probably go wee style in nature. And if it can get to that point, you do have the option to take 1-for-1 loon drops here on those cannons. And then obviously you would have they would be able to work their way up into the archer towers as well, which will be distracted by whatever troops are coming at them this way. So you do have some back-end loon potential as part of your 3-star strategy, but don't give up the 2-star to do it. I probably wouldn't come in the backside with any more, honestly, than 4, maximum 6 loons. Don't sell yourself short on the kill squad. Number 3 base, again, kind of the offset and tightly grouped air defenses, the expos pointed up, the centralized air sweepers. So again, they're still just very worried about Laloon. And so a couple things here that we have of interest. Exposed Queen, definitely want to bust in there, get the golems tanking her while you take her out with your BK and your kill squad. And you're going to be able to either wall breaker and or jump to the core pretty easily. You've got some potential double giant bombs, not likely there, just because it's on the outside of the base. More likely that we've got single giant bombs here. Could also be Teslas though if they're surrounding the base with Teslas. So you've got that there. My guess is going to be giant bombs, Teslas there, and other Teslas. Because they're kind of an anti 3-star clan, typically those Teslas are in locations that aren't concentrated because they expect you to be able to get the 2-star, but then they want their Teslas and other things to take you out on the backside. So they could be anywhere outside the base up here. They could be inside the base and that kind of thing. So that leads me to believe, looking at that it's probably not 4 Teslas right around the town hall. I could be wrong, but they got to put giant bombs somewhere too, so I would expect that that's potentially giant bombs there. They could even go as far as putting like a set of double giant bombs there for somebody who's not very smart and just does a spam hog attack and take out all their hogs right there. Clan Castle is lurable on this one, so you can go ahead and get that taken care of without too much troop expenditure. But definitely go at the heroes, take them out. Make sure you have a jump spell or something that's going to get you to the core. You can quake it if you want to just open it wide up to the core. You can do that. You could do something where you quake right here, open that up, bring everything in here, go wee-wee or something like that to trip those areas, and then you could kind of filter in some hogs on the side to take these side defenses out, and that would be a pretty good strategy to try to work your way up the base, knowing that there's not really a lot of double giant bomb threat. And then obviously your other two spells would probably need to be heal spells, and because you should be able to get to that town hall pretty easily. They're giving you that town hall pretty simply, as long as you don't screw it up too bad. Make sure you save several troops for 50% cleanup. You see there's just a ton of buildings out here. They're all free. No reason to miss 50% on this base. Moving on to their Town Hall 10s. I'm not the guru of scouting Town Hall 10s because I'm not there. We're going to leave this up to do, but when you look at Town Hall 10s and what we're worried about, again, they do have exposed ADs here. This is potentially a Laloon attack, but my concern with the Laloon here is those single target infernos. And so you see we've got a couple issues on this base. There's going to be a lot of firepower in the core. I mean, just a ton. You've got two single target infernos here. What that does is it neutralizes to some extent a lava hound and or golem, because if it locks onto them, it's a single targeting defense and it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger the longer it's locked on. And so it can easily take down a golem pretty quickly. So if we come from the top to try to neutralize those, we've got trip expos on the bottom pounding and firing at us. They are level 1, but they are trip expos. If we come at the bottom to try to handle the trip expos, then we've got two single target inferno towers on the top side coming at us. So when you have single target infernos, what you want to look for is how can I throw as many troops at them as possible? Well, one troop that does that is a hound when they bust. Another troop that does that is a witch who generates, 6, 8 skellies at a time or whatever, and can start distracting those troops in that way. So if you're Town Hall 10, you have 5 troop space, and I don't know if Dew has unlocked freeze spells yet. I'm guessing he hasn't had enough time to research a freeze spell. Well, if he's got the spell factory, 5 spaces, he'll have the freeze spell. So that's one thing at Town Hall 10 that you get used to using is freeze spells on those Inferno towers. And so with that, you might be able to get in there and do that. You can also look at quaking in. Quake some walls and open up a path right to the town hall there. And so lots of options here. I'll probably talk to Dew more about it on an individual basis, but I think even a Town Hall 9 with a good attack could get these. They're not max defenses. Some of them are just Town Hall 8 level defenses. There's one Town Hall level 9 Whiz Tower, and cannons are maxed out for Town Hall 9. Archer towers are all Town Hall 8 level, so it is very doable. Just got to be smart about it. Low level heroes, so it's a little bit rushed, but we definitely want to have a smart attack to go at this one. And lastly, their number 1 base. Now this baby is a maxed out Town Hall 10, or I don't even know what a max looks like, but obviously this is well on its way. It's got the upgraded Archer towers already. It's got the upgraded cannons. It's got Inferno towers at level 3. And so this one's going to be a beast to take out. Probably going to consult the World Wide Web of Clashers and see, if there's any brainless options of trying to get a 2-star in here. Usually it's going to be a very heavy golem centered approach. Those are, again, single targeting Inferno towers. And so they're going to tear up golems pretty quick. So my guess is that we are going to, that you just got to send everything you can and just really blow it up. Come from one direction or the other. I'm probably going to come at the queen side so she can't sit there and beat us from behind. and then just a mass golem. Could be 5 golem, 4 golem, 6 golem, who knows. And maybe we will quake somewhere in here or somewhere in here to open that approach up to the core, and just do like a mass, heavy golem go wee wee style attack with lots of DPS and get in there. P.E.K.K.A.s aren't going to do much good because if they do get locked onto, they're going to get blown up by those Inferno Towers pretty quickly, and 3 maxed Expos. So this one's going to be a problem. Heal spells don't help with Inferno Towers, and so you have to be raged at the core. Just a reminder there, as anyone who ever ends up having to take on Inferno Towers. But this will be a tough one. Good challenge for us, and good opportunities to see what we can do. Hopefully that's a help as we look at the game plan going into this war. Good luck. We'll do our best. We'll follow our system and see where we end up.